Hello guys, how are you? I am Noor and in today's session I am going to explain the xUnit framework in C#.NET 8. I will create a detailed function in a class and then I will write different test cases to test the function completely so that there are no chances of the error. Okay, now let's me directly jump towards the development environment. I am using Visual Studio 2022. Now let's me create a new project. Click on new, click on project, and from here I will just select a console app. Okay, click on this template, click on next, and here I will give a name like uh, unit test project. Click on next, click on once you select the latest version .NET 8 and then click on create. Okay, now your project created successfully. It is the console application. Now here let's me add a new class. I will keep the class name as order. Sorry, let's me add here a folder first, services. Okay, and inside the services I have to add this class order processor.cs. Okay, I will make this class as public and then I will create here few private constant properties. It will be a decimal like text rate. Okay, I'm just creating the function code and then we will test these function in detail. Okay, it is the 8% text. Okay, and then I will create one another property. This property name will be discounts threshold and let's me give a value to 500 million. It will be basically discount applies for orders or dollar. How much dollar? It will be, I think, a dollar 500. Yes. So don't confuse yourself with these things. I am just creating dummy variables. Okay. Now let's me create one another decimal and discount rate will be 0.10 million. Okay, it's used for the decimal notation. Okay, and its actual value will be 10% discount, I can say. Now let's me create the actual function and I will test this function inside the unit test, the xUnit test frame project. Okay, this function will return the order receipt and let's me give a name to this function. The function name will be process order. Okay, and here let's me I will create this class later. First just give me something inside the body of this function. Now it will take a parameter of order type. Okay, so let's me make it order. Okay, I will create these two classes. Okay, later. Now if order is equal to null, then I have to throw an exception through no argument null exception and name of order. I will create like in this way, name of the order. Okay, it will take basically this parameter, the name of. Okay, now let's me move and I will now check if stock is available. Okay, so for these I have to create first a function inside this class. Let me create a function. mm, the function, let me create first some functions, small functions. Okay, public decimal. I will, once I created this function, then I will again come inside the body of this function. Okay, now public decimal calculate total, and this function will take order as a parameter, and then it will return me the order dot items dot sum. Okay, and it will basically let me give a name it to item. Sorry guys, item, and then item dot quantity multiply by item dot price. Okay, now actually here inside this class I am just creating some dummy code. Once I created the complete dummy function here, then I will test this function. I don't want to show you a very simple xUnit test. It will be very easy. That is why I want to create some logic, and then I will test these complete logic with different unit test cases. So first let's just allow me to create some functions so that we can completely test, we can completely know how we can do the testing using the xUnit framework. Okay, now I am creating one another function, public decimal employee discount if eligible. Sorry if the spelling is incorrect. And this function will take basically the a decimal value total, and let's move inside the body of this function. If total is greater than discount threshold, this one discount threshold, then I have to return the total multiply by discount rate. Okay, otherwise I will return 0 from here. Okay, now our second function is ready. Now let's me create one another function to calculate the text, public decimal. Okay, calculate text, and here I will just return basically the total after discount my multiply by uh, tax rate. Okay, and let's me pass here the decimal total after discount, total after discount. Okay, now we are almost done, and I have to create three more functions. Okay, now I have to create the function public. It will be basically a boolean function. Okay, now let's me create this function, public uh, bool check stock availability, and this function will just return uh, order dot items. Okay, so it will take basically the order as a parameter, and then it will check for all if uh, if item if item dot sorry guys item dot quantity is less than or equal to get stock for item. I will create this function below this one. Okay, now let's me just pass here the item dot item id as a parameter. Okay, now let's me create this one. Control C, and here I have to create this function public int get sorry it will take basically the item id as a parameter, and it will just return a hard coded value for the time return 10. Okay, a hard coded value. Okay, and then let's me create there are basically two functions remaining. I want to make some complex code, that is why I want to check each and everything in a little complex way, so that we can see how we can completely test the function. Okay, now it is the process payment. It will basically take the order as a parameter. Let's me okay, and then it will also take the amount as a parameter, and here this function will for the time return nothing. Okay, it is a void function, and here let's do a payment process here. Okay, so you have to write here logic here, logic of payment here, see. Okay, and then I have to write one another function. Once the order is completed, then we have must to update the inventory. Now I have to also declare here one another function update inventory. These inventory uh, write here logic to update the inventory. Okay, and it will take the order as a parameter. Okay, now basically I have created few functions here, you can see, for our order purpose. And now let's we move again towards our main function, the process order, right? Now here I have to check on the stock availability. Okay, for the stock availability, if you remember, I have just created this function. Okay, check stock availability, and this function taking the order as a parameter. Okay, now if stock is not available, then I have to throw an exception, throw new and invalid operation exception. Okay, invalid operation exception, and I will just pass a message from the constructor like one or more items are out of the stock. Okay, out of the stock. Okay, now I have added basically two logics. Then once we move toward unit project, then we will I will write test cases for each of these one. Okay, now currently I have only added two logics here inside the function. Now let's me create here some uh, variables, and I will calculate its value. So let's me create a total variable, and I will get the value from calculate total. Sorry guys, calculate total. Okay, and this function is declared here. Calculate total, it's taking the order as a parameter. Okay, and let's me create one another variable discount, and I will have to calculate the discount. Apply discount if applicable, and it's taking the order as a parameter. And now I have to calculate the total after discount. Now you will get the idea why I created here too many functions, because I have to use this function inside the main process order function. Okay, now to calculate the total after discount, I will minus the discount from the total value. Okay, and now I have to calculate the tax. To calculate the tax, I have created here a function calculate tax. Okay, and this will take basically the total after the discount. And now I will calculate the grand total. If you remember, in normal order processing we have this kind of logic. Okay, now we have to calculate the taxes, we have to calculate the discount, the amount after discount, and then we have to calculate the final amount. Okay, now I am basically calculating the grand total. Now these are our different variable. We have to write the logic also for these in our xUnit project. Now let's me move forward. I have to once my basic data is ready, then I have to process the payment from the customer. Okay, and the payment function, if you remember, process payment taking two parameters, the order and the amount. Okay, now it will take the order and the grand total as an amount. Okay, now once this is done, then I have to update the inventory. For update inventory, I have write this function. Okay, no, I have almost done all the things. Now I have just to return the order data to the customer. Okay, return new order receipt. Okay, and then I have to return like let's me first create this class, the order receipt, then I will add here the logic. Okay, now let's me move here. Sorry, just close this function, close this class, and here I have to add the classes first. Now my first class will be public order. Sorry guys, public class order, and here I have to add on the ID. Now let's me give here a name, order ID, and then I have to define a list of the items, list. Okay, and it will be the order item. Let's me make the I capital, and here I have to define the order items class, and inside the order item I have the order item ID, and I have the quantity public int. Okay, and then I have the price, public decimal price. Okay, and after these I have to define the class for the receipt. Okay, public class order receipt. Now the video going a little lengthy, but I want to add some dummy code so that we can test the things in an easy way. Okay, now I have to add the properties for the order receipt. Here we will have the order ID, and then we will have the subtotal, public decimal uh, subtotal, and then we will have the discount, public decimal discount, and then we will have the tax, select decimal text. Okay, and then I have to add here the property grand total. Okay, and one large property is for the date process, and let's me make is date time. Okay, now all our classes are ready. Now let's me move towards the main class, and here I have the items. Okay, and let's we move here inside the process header. Okay, it's not taking, I mean, let's me move to the definition. Okay, if I see, we have basically the applied discount if applicable. It taking decimal total applied discount if applicable, and here I am passing order. No, actually I have to pass the total amount. Sorry guys, here this one. Okay, now the error gone. Okay, now let's me finally return some feed to the customer order id. Okay, and then I have to calculate the subtotal, is equal to total. Okay, I have to calculate the discount will be this amount, I mean this one. Okay, and then I have to add the tax, and then I have to return the grand total. Okay, and then I have to return the date process, and it will be the date I am don't know. Okay, it's me control KD to format the document. Okay, now our function is basically ready. We have created a process order function. Here we are checking if the order is null. Here we are checking if the stock is available or not. Then I am creating some values, calculating some values. Then I am process the payment. I update the inventory, and then I return the final data towards the customer. Right? Now, once I mean commit this code. Once the code is go to deployment, then nobody know about whether the code is right in a correct way, the logic is okay, because there is no unit test written for this code. Nobody tested this code. Okay. Now I have just to put a debugger to run the function, and it may give me the correct result with some values, but to proper check this function I have to write the complete xUnit. Okay, now for these let's me add here a project, another project to the solution. Add new project, and let's me search here the xUnit test project. If I type here xUnit, now you can see here the xUnit test project template. Click on next. Now I have to give here the name like uh, test project dot test. Okay, click on create. The project created successfully. Okay, now it is our main application and it is our test project. Now first of all I have to add some libraries. So click on add, manage new get package, and then type here mock. Click on this one, click on install. Okay, I have to add xUnit. It is already installed. No, I think there is one another library assert. Okay. No way I will install this library later. Okay. Now close this one. Okay. Just remove this default class. Now I have to add the reference of our main console application inside the test project.test. Okay. Add project reference unit test project. It is our console application and click on OK. Now if you see here, the project is added as a reference. Okay. Now go to the solution, clean solution, and then rebuild the solution. Program does not get a static main word suitable for an entry point. Okay. Public static class main. Let's me rebuild again. Now I have first to check this one, okay, and then I will consume the resume the video, okay. Okay, so I just edit this code console.line hello.world, and now if I rebuild the project, it's working fine. There are coming no error. Okay. No, I have to basically, I was just at the X test project. It is the xUnit project, and now I have to add here a folder with the same name as services inside the main project, the console application. Okay, services. Okay, I think it's enough services. Okay, and now I have to inside our services we have the class order processor rename, and now I have to add here a class order processor, and I will use here test.cs. Okay, I will make these classes public, and now I will write here different test cases. Okay, so the first test case that I will write for public void, just type the class name process order. Okay, so inside this class, if I go to the main class, here we have this function. Now type here the main function name and then underscore and then your logic. Now I will write for that for the first case, for this one argument null exception. Okay, now I will give a name like should throw exception when order is null. For this one, I am writing a complete test case just to test if the order is null, then whether the null exception, argument null exception is coming or not. So I am writing a test cases for these, and here apply the attribute fact. Okay. Now there are basically three things: arrange, act, and assert. Okay. Now in the arrange, basically we have to create the variables, create some data. But so here in this case I will just create an object of this class order processor. Okay. Okay. the object is created. Okay, now if I have to create some variable like these kind of things, okay, and then we can, I mean, create inside the area of the arrange. Okay, you can create anywhere, but it is a good practice to arrange the things inside the arrange area. Okay, and then I will basically here use the act and assert in one place, because I am directly calling the function inside the order processor class, this this function. Okay, now I will check assert dot throws, and the exception type is argument null exception. So I will pass here the argument null exception class here, and then I have to write here a lambda function to check whether the sorry order processor dot process order. Okay, and then I will pass null here. Okay, it's mean that I am passing null order to this function. If order is null, then this exception must throw. So I have write a unit test here for this purpose. Okay, now if it returns the null, then this test case will be passed. If it not return the argument null exception, then this test will be fail. Okay, now to test this test, let's me right click, and then I had to run the test. I think first I should build the project, but I run the test case without building the project. So let's see whether it's working or not. Okay, my first test case is passed. You can see inside the order process test class, here I have this function. Now let's me move here. Okay, I have this function should throw exception. Okay, and this test case pass. If there are coming the green circle and with a check box, you can see here it also show me as post. Okay, now close these. Now I have to write here one another function should apply the discount on the order when the total exceeds threshold. Okay, now if you go to the order processor, here we have a threshold frequency. Now I have to um, basically create a unit test for this type of purpose. Okay, fact, okay, public void, then the class name where the function is created underscore. It is a good naming convention, you can keep any name anyway. Should apply discount when total exceeds uh, threshold. Okay, now if I go to the actual order here, if I go to this function apply discount, I am basically writing the unit test case for this blast. Now if you go to this function, go to the definition, okay, sorry, for this one check stock availability, go to definition, and here we have some logic. Okay, now if I go to the stock item, pick definition. Okay, now actually I am writing the test case should apply the discount when the total exceeds threshold exceeded. Now I am first arranging the things. To arrange, let me create the order processor object from the order processor class. Okay, and then I have to arrange the order with some dummy data. Okay, and here I have to pass the order ID is equal to 1, and then I have to pass the items, new items. Okay, and here I have to add at least one item. it item id for example is equal to 1, and quantity should be 10. Okay, and its price should be 60 for the time. Okay, control KD to format the document. Okay, it's our function closing. Let's me No, it's not working. Okay, so actually I have to, for this one. Okay, and for this one. Okay, and here let we have added one another. Okay, now the error gone. Now our basic order is created. Okay, now we have to act, I mean call the function. So I have to act here, copy the name, order process, sorry, variable recept is equal to order process dot process order, and let's me pass here these variable. Okay, now I have to go to the final step, the assert. In the assert, basically we are checking the actual output. We are adding different conditions. Okay, assert dot equals, and I have to check the receive dot subtotal amount. Receive dot subtotal amount should, and I have to check whether it's equal to 600. Okay, and then I have to check, control C, control V, 60 million. I have to check if the discount is equal to this, and it will basically, I think, the 10% discount. Okay, now let me put here first a debugger, and I have to test this function. I basically create some dummy data. I created the object of the order class, I created the order, and then I have called the process order function inside the order process, this function. And now let's me also put here a debugger, and I am here checking if the once I call this function and I get the output, and in the subtotal amount inside the receipt should be 600 and the discount should be 60. If these values are not equal to subtotal and discount if not equal to 60 million, then this test case will be failed. Okay, now right click, and I have to debug the test. I can also run the test directly, but I have to debug the test case. Okay, wait a little. Okay, now step forward, step forward, step forward. I am come inside the main function inside the order processor. Step forward. Okay, now I am returning the final output. Now inside the receipt, if you check the subtotal, its value is equal to 600. If you check the discount, its value is 660. It's mean that our test will be passed. Continue. You can see that our test result is coming as checked, passed, and green circle. Now let's me put here some value like this one, 500. So we can check whether the test giving the actual value or not. Run test. No, this time or this test will become fail, because we are we are returning here 600, and I am testing for 500. I expecting the value should be 500, but its value is 600. That is why these tests will become fail. You can see also here uh, that these tests become fail. Okay. No, I have to write another test case. Should calculate correct text. Okay. No, you can see that here I have only one function, but I am writing here different test cases. The first test case, the second test case, and now I am writing one another test case to check whether the calculated text amount is correct or not. Now to write this function, let's me create it as void the class name, and then let's me give a name should calculate correct text. Okay, and from this function I have to first arrange the data. I have to create the object of the class order processor is equal to new order processor. Okay, and then I have to create a dummy class. So for these I have to create these to get this data paste here. Now for example, we have the item ID 1, the quantity 10, and price is 60. So we just created a dummy order. Okay, and now I am going towards the second step of the unit test, the act. So I will simply call this function the order processor. Copy this one, paste here, and I am calling this function process order, and I am passing order as a parameter. Okay, now let's we move towards the final step, the assert. Now here I will first convert the uh, expected text, sorry. Okay, now let's suppose 600 minus 60 and multiply by 0.08. Okay, and I think it's subtotal after discount will be 540. Okay, don't confuse yourself with this. I am just creating a sorry a dummy variable. Okay, no, I have to check if the value is equal to assert dot equal. Okay, the expected tax amount. Okay, and then the receipt to tax. From these what tax I get. Okay, let me check tax. Okay, no, I have to put here a debugger, and I have to let's me remove the debugger from here, from the main order processor class, and I have to debug the test, this one. Okay, now step next, and now if I go to the receipt, I have to show you the discount amount is 60, grand total 496 order, and subtotal is 600, and tax is 43 point something. Okay, now step next, my expected tax become 43.20 if I minus 60 from 600 and then multiply by this amount. You can see, let me also show you inside the quick watch, its value became 43.20. Now here the text value is also 43.20 because these value and the receipt.text are equal. That is why this test case will become passed. Now continue. Okay, you can see that this one, this text, this test case becomes passed because it giving me the correct result. Okay, now we can write different test cases like in this way. There are more test cases, there are more options. You can write test case for each value for according to the order you are passing here. Now you can test your code according to your logic, according to your requirement. You may write a single test case to test different things here inside the assert. You may write different test cases like in this way to check whether you are getting the correct output or not. So unit testing are very important in any development environment. In the C Sharp, xUnit is very popular and it is a good practice to write unit test cases for your services, for your web API testing and for any other type of code, any other type of project. I hope you will find the video helpful. Thank you for watching the channel and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you.